Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here with my Flosstube update number 410. Today is Saturday. Jan. I don't think she watches. My friend Jan, that I've known since I was in junior high. I think I was in eighth and she was in ninth or seventh and eighth. I've known her since I was in seventh grade. Because she was the only female trombone player in our band, and she was in junior orchestra when I was, and so we got to know each other. I think I had met her when I was in seventh grade in the band at school, and then I think maybe the next year when I was in eighth and she was in ninth, we were both in the junior orchestra because in those days it went seventh, eighth, and ninth graders are in the junior orchestra, and 10 through 12 were in the youth orchestra. Anyway, so we got to talking one day and realized we knew each other from school and all this stuff and became good friends, and we were friends ever since then. So she lives in Florida now, but I know her birthday is on November 8th. Anyway, so today's her birthday. Um, I have today a finish, yay, and from on my WIPGO, one of my WIPGO projects, and then I have, you know, the wheel keeps turning of my new stuff to work on. Um, well, first of all, my friend Brandy sent me basically like a housewarming gift. She sent me this pattern. This is by Advanced Cross Stitch. Uh, it's called Black Cat Magic, and she in the sort of text she sent me about this pattern coming up. She said you can change the hair color to make it look more like yours, whatever. So yeah, and now this is a full coverage, um, very large piece. It's like 400 by 400 stitches, I believe, and it has like a page and a half worth of DMC colors. Yeah, so that's a lot of stuff. The pattern itself, all of these pages, it was like 54 pages, not counting like this cover page and the two pages of colors. So it's like 51 pages or whatever. It's a big design. Um, with their in the description here, it's like 18 count Ada, 400 by 400 stitches. The size is about 22.2 stitches. Uh, inches, each direction. So it's a big thing. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Um, so I don't know when I'll start it. I have a lot of things going on, but it's there. It's something different. It's something I've never done before. But there's that. So thank you, Brandy. And I don't know. I don't think I have information on if there's an individual designer for this advanced cross stitch company. Um, doesn't have a specific name. It's just the company name. I haven't looked at all the pages. I just printed off these three. The rest of it is still a PDF in my uh, on my computer. One of the things my sister suggested was putting it in Pattern Keeper, um, and I'll have to look and see because I don't know if that's compatible with this laptop. It might be because this is a newer laptop. I don't have a tablet currently because my tablet that I did have was a Samsung, um, that I bought. I want to say, I don't know, um, maybe 6 years ago or so. I forget what year I bought it, but it basically just apparently kicked the bucket. Um, and it was kind of a shame because it had certain things on there, saved on there that weren't backed up, I guess. And so, yeah. So some things seem to be gone forever. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but uh, yeah. So certain things are not compatible. I've been, doing my updates on this laptop um, that I bought. I guess I bought the laptop about a year and a half, a year ago, something like that. But I've been doing my updates on this laptop for the last few months, I guess, since my my tablet kicked the bucket. So I don't know if I can do Pattern Keeper on this laptop or not. I've never considered it before, but I might now. Anyway, um, so my finish is the Swans. This is the number two pattern in the Year in the Woods uh, uh, series of patterns they had from 2022. So the Swans is number two. And that was on my WIPGO board for one of my numbers for November, the number three WIPGO chart for November. The numbers were 3 and 22, so this is the number three WIP, and it is finished. Last week I misspoke a little bit because I assumed that this part down here was all done, not this part, backwards, um, because I had done this part, and so I just assumed that I had finished all of this, and when I looked at it more closely, I realized, oh no, I have not finished that. Um, so I think the first day of November was Saturday. Saturday. Um, and so I think I had started stitching, because I had to do this up here, and I just assumed I had finished this, and I had not. I think I had stopped like somewhere, like right on the edge of this little swirl here. I had done like a few half stitches, and I had not finished it. Yeah, so I did that, and then I did this. I finished all the feathers on the swans, so the swans are complete. And then I had done I had done these trees and everything on this side and the cabin, and I had to do this corner over here. Um, so I did that. I created this little border because I have the patterns in sets of three, right? This is the number one, the fox. I finished that, I want to say last year or earlier this year. Last year, I think. So this is the number two, the swans. And then this is number three. I worked on this earlier this year, the jackrabbit. Yeah, that's a needle minder in the middle of his tummy. Um, but so the jackrabbit, again, is almost finished. I have to finish his leg here and then the background of his uh, body. I think, yeah, like all these little patterns on his body are done, but there's like a solid color, behind them that I haven't finished, and haven't finished his other leg here, and then all the stuff that goes in the corners around it. But I designed this little border so I could put them by threes, but I have not finished the borders around these two patterns, and I would like to do that. Yeah, because most of them I have like across the top and like just a few stitches right here to mark where the corners of the patterns are. but I would like to go ahead and finish them just so I can, have that done. But anyway, so I finished the swans, and I really my goal was 7 days for my big whips, and this took me basically 7 days. I finished it on Friday. So the swans are done. Yeah. And like I said, I worked on all the other patterns this year except for the reindeer, which is the number 12 pattern, which is due to be worked, is one of the December calls. So oddly enough, my December WIPGO calls are all actually, the main ones are all actually Christmas uh, patterns. So that's kind of works out very nicely, very seasonally. But so now this will go back in the pile. Um, and hopefully I'll finish that jackrabbit next time around. Then the other thing I've been working on to try to finish is still this wandering sheep pattern from last month. So this was one of last month's WIPGO calls, and I really really wanted to finish it last month, and just could not quite get around it because again it just calls for so much stitching of the sheep. The sheep has a lot of body to him, but I'm further along. So there's my initials on the end, and then yeah. So this is very much like it was last week, except that I'm just further along with this sheep's body, and I did finish the border except for on these you'll see these uh, lower blossoms they have. I can get it close enough to the camera. I just jostled it. Um, but they alternate like gray, and then these up here will be black. So all the black ones have not been done yet, but all the gray ones are done. So there's that border, and then just several rows of black for the sheep's body. And these are Threadworks threads, except for just a handful of DMC colors, but for the most part, they're Threadworks colors. And I think when I purchased this pattern, I purchased the Threadworks floss pack, and then, of course, just provided the DMC. But yeah. So I just have, I want to finish this because I'm so close to being finished. There's no sense in hanging on to it. So I've been working on it the last couple days, and I would like to finish off that sheep's body. And I think I can do it today if I just buckle down and don't be lazy. Yeah. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, seven or eight uh, big lines across here, and then I have to go down here and finish his leg. So, but yeah, so I'm plugging away right here. Well, go on, and so hopefully today or maybe tomorrow I will finish that, and then in the spirit of having to stitch forever for that sheep, one of my other WIPGOs for 22, my 22 WIPGO is the whale here. This is the Calling of the Sea by Stacey Nash. And so I worked on this earlier. I think the ship, I want to say I did that last year, but the compass I did this year. I um I did for cross stitch camp. I think the year before I did Calling of the Sea, and then this year I did the compass, something like that. But anyway, I kind of wanted, the reason I liked this pattern to begin with was the whale. But when I decided to use it for cross stitch camp, I wanted something small because, of course, the goal for Cottage Camp is to start and finish within a month, right? If it meets the July criteria, you would stitch from the 1st of July till the end of July. You have that 31 days or whatever period to finish, whatever piece you choose for each month. And so I did not choose the whale because I knew I could not finish it necessarily in the month, especially if I have, you know, in addition to summer camp, I've got WIPGO or whatever going on. So I didn't do it until now. And again, this is one of the it's not technically a whip, it's technically a new start, but it falls under, I have it under my whip category on WIPGO, because it's part of a larger series. So another one I did this with was the Black Cat Magic series, by Lindy Stitches. She had, like, I want to say it was 6 patterns involving a black cat, basically. Let me see if I've got it here handy. I can tell what it was called. Yeah, Black Cat Season. I don't know what I said before. Black Cat Season. So the number 6, I had not started, and I think I maybe had done 5, but not finished it. But so that my goal for number 5 was to finish it. My goal for number 6 was to finish it also. Fortunately, they're not very big, but I want to say I finished stitching. I did not fully finish any of these objects because I don't have all my stuff. But anyway, so Calling of the Sea is like I said, technically a new start. I'm going to be tackling this big sucker up here, and it's I want to say it's 100 and something. I don't have the pattern right here. I have it put away somewhere. Oh, here. You can't really see the pattern, but these are the weeks I works threads, and all of these patterns use basically the same pack of weeks I works threads, but I think, like for instance, in the compass, there are only a few colors used just because of the nature of the design, but all the colors that are called for on this envelope card of the pattern, all the colors appear in this format design altogether. So it's, there's a flag there. So technically it could be patriotic, but there's a flag there. There's some red on the whale. There's these little Quakers or whatever you want to call them, all around there, quilt squares, whatever. But this whale is a lot of stitching, just back and forth, kind of, solid stitching all the way across. And like I said, yeah, using it looks like seraphim linen, a 46 count linen. The whale is 6.5 by 5.5, so it's gonna be pretty big. The linen I have is 28 count Lugana. So we'll see how it works, how big it'll be. But I did dye a piece of fabric for it. So, and I think I did my yarn tree calculations correct. So this is the fabric I'm going to stitch it on. It's a shade of blue that I dyed myself. It's a little bit lighter than, well, it's like a pair of good worn in denim jeans. It's not quite as dark as a brand new pair, and not as faded as I've seen some. So hopefully, yeah, it'll look good on here. This is not the same blue that the ship and the compass are because I used a scrap of linen that I already had, um, and these two fit, but this one did not. But I went ahead and yeah, just dyed another piece. So hopefully it'll be close enough to not be I don't know, clashing or whatever. Um, but so this is my other whip, my next whip coming up after I finish that thin sheet. Um, oh yeah, my other two new starts are the Statehood Series of Arkansas is one that I'm doing. Um, I haven't tracked all of those threads, and I think I got the Arkansas one. I got the. I think I got all the specialty threads, and there's a couple of almost all of them. There aren't many threads involved in that one at all. I probably have it here somewhere. I don't know. But um, so the other two new starts that I have are Chilli, which is another Stacey Nash, one of her animal crackers designs, um, and the Statehood series. So those are the other two WIPGO calls, and then after that, it's all Christmas stuff for Christmas. Santa, Festive Forest, Merry Menagerie, Blue Penguins, the Reindeer, Quirky Christmas, and Up on the Rooftop Stockings. Now, of course, the Quirky Christmas, you can choose to do any one of the, I think there's a total of 12, 9, maybe 9 designs. And I've stitched one of them, and so the other one, the next one I'm going to do for that series is called, it's called Gronks, I think. And then the other new start for set of patterns for this month is another part of animal. I think I already mentioned this. Is the animal crackers Chilli? This is the penguin, right? And his little snowman friend. So there's the penguin. Yeah, blue penguins from the. Not, oh, man, I'm saying this all wrong. The 2024 Prairie School Santa is my new start, one of my new starts. My other new start would be the Merry Menagerie Blue Penguins. That's by Jennifer McGowan, Blue Flower. And then Quirky Christmas and Up on the Rooftop Stockings are both part of ongoing series. Quirky Christmas, I did one other one, and then I'll do the gnomes. That's the second one I'll be doing. And the other, yeah, so those are all my new starts. The existing whips are Festive Forest by the Blue Flower, the Reindeer by Cottage Garden Samplings, and Up in the Rooftop Stockings, Santa. So I don't have the stockings with me here, but they were basically, I did the Cardinals. I think was the one I started with for Jingle Ball class last December, and so Up in the Rooftop were 3 sets of stockings, and I did 2 of them before. I did one for the class, one. When did I do the other one? Sometime after that, and so now I just have the one featuring the Santa going down the chimney, um, and again that's like the whale, a new start, but I'm considering it a whip because it's part of an ongoing series. But so next year's WIPGO, what I'm thinking of is doing sort of a combination. Maybe I'll do. I haven't decided whether I'll do it as two different boards or pair up. Like say, number one is these two pieces that are both very close to being finished. Number two is these two pieces that are both very close to being finished, and so on and so forth. Um, excuse me, 1 minute. Ugh, I need something caffeine. I'm getting sleepy. Um, but anyway, so I think for next year, what I'm thinking of working on my WIPGO board, part of it is I don't want to start it until I get all my cross stitch stuff out of storage, and I don't know when that's going to happen. Um, Hopefully sooner rather than later. But that would help me because what I want to do is I want to, I have like an older set of whips and a newer set of whips. I think I've talked about this before. And the older whips I had gotten tired of because I was doing, trying to do them a little bit every year. And um, I think it was 2 or 3 days, 3 years in a row that I was working on this one set of whips. And I had done several new starts along with those last year, I guess. And so when I was making up my 2025 board, I said I don't want to do those. I want to do all my new starts that I just had started a little bit of for the most part last year. And so those were on my WIPGO boards. And maybe it was the last 2 years. I don't know. It's all a blur. But so I'd done all those charts, but I was kind of sick of all that old stuff. But now those older whips, like Voyage of Discovery, um, Running of the Wind, the old Clipper Ship, all those things are old whips I've had for quite a while, and I've been plugging away on them, working on them. But I would like to get them done. Some of them are close to being finished, relatively close. Um, but so if I could pair up two that are almost finished, or one that's almost finished, or one that's a little less than almost finished. But work on them that way. And I mean, the new start will always be there. I guess they'll be there for a while to start something. But so that if I can make my whips work out, if I can pair them up a little bit, um, and get them to sort of um, so that I'm working on more than one, try to make some significant progress on those, and hopefully just get them done, because I'm kind of tired of. I like them, but I'm kind of tired of having them working on them all the time, making just a little bit of progress and work. So I want to do as much work as possible to get those off my plate, basically. Anyway, it remains to be seen. Like I said, I'm still hoping to get my cross stuff out of storage. Speaking of storage, you can see in the corner over here, right behind me, is one of those multicolored drawer sets from, I don't know where I got it from. I think I might have gotten it at Target or Walmart or someplace. Not Walmart, probably Target. I don't know, or Hobby Lobby. I don't know. But it's a drawer set, and these little hanging drawers here, different colors, orange and red pair down there below these three guys. I mean, it's three pairs. Um, but all I have in them, like first like five, 5 or 6 drawers, is like one of those segmented little plastic bobbin boxes, basically. And so those first like 5 cabinets, maybe 6 cabinets, have all my DMC threads in them, and I like them on bobbins, but I think I'm gonna have to do something different because this drawer set did not survive the move very well. It's very wobbly for some reason, and part of it is I think it needs to be tightened up, all the just screws and stuff like that. And the other issue is that maybe it's just reached the end of its shelf life. I hate to do that because it's a nice shelf, has that nice little sort of surface on the top that, and and in the other house I had it in my closet, tucked in the corner of the closet with. I also have little bins that have my fancy floss in them. One for Weeks, one for Classic Color Works, and one for uh, Gentle Arts. So, uh, but the problem is that the shelf configuration here, they're a little bit out of reach, um, and so I'm going to see if this little unit can't be tightened up, if it remains to be wobbly, um, I might just have to just give it Goodwill or something, and do something different with those threads. We shall see. But um, yeah, so I'm hoping that that I can just tighten it up. But even so, even if I do that, I might just put something different in those drawers and put my DMC boxes elsewhere in the this craft room thing. We're still trying to put things together. Partly it's difficult because things are in storage, and partly it's difficult because we don't have. We need more. Like one of the things we're going to have on this back wall is a couch, um, so that this room can, like, if somebody can snooze on the couch, sleep on the couch if they have to or whatever. But uh, or our dream ideal is to put like a futon kind of couch back there so you can pull it out and make it into a bed, and so this room could function as a guest room, um, like when my aunt comes for Christmas or something like that. Um, but so we're still little by little by little by little working on sorting out the storage solutions and how we're going to do it, and what we have room for. Actually, we have a room in the closet, a lot of room in the closet for drawers and boxes and bags and whatever. And it's just a matter of seeing what works, and getting stuff out of the storage unit. It's kind of hard. If I were more physically able, you um, unload everything into a U-Haul truck and drive it over here. But um, doing that is going to have to entail my nephew and his friends, going up there and moving everything out of the storage unit, and then bringing it here, which would put it all in a big pile in the house. And then we would have to sort through again what we're going to keep, what we're going to get rid of, what we're going to Goodwill, what we're going to have the junk guys haul away or whatever. And that's a big undertaking because again, when when we all moved in together, it was three households: my mom's household, Eve's household, my household. Because we each all had our different individual lives, and so we put them all together. Um, and so now we're sort of sorting through. My parents passed away, so we're kind of we're sorting through what of their things do we want to keep, what do we want to get rid of, whatever. Um, and so that's part of this whole process, and it's kind of it's going kind of slowly, but Eve and I are trying to take some time and go and get what we can, what we can carry to bring back here, um, and figure out what we're gonna keep, what we're gonna get rid of, what we're gonna put where, and all of that. So it's an ongoing process. It's still going on. But in the meantime, I'm going to be starting the whale. I think that's my next step, and I want to finish that stinking big black sheep. Um, but yeah, so that's where we're going. Um, and again, with the DMC boxes, they're in those drawers. It's the only thing that fits in the drawer is just the DMC box. I mean, there's like this much space around it or whatever. Um, and I don't really have any good way to make use of that space that you know. So every now and then, when I need a DMC thread that I don't know where it's, in one of those boxes probably, and so but again, it's a stack of like 6 boxes. So if I can find some other way, even if all 6 of them are in like one of those big square bins, that you can, you can buy those little sets of shelves that have like 6 square holes, right? And you can buy say a cloth bin or whatever to go in those to go in each of those holes. And so something like that, the the DNC boxes could go in one of those containers or 2 of those containers. Um, and then this thing, if it's able to be stabilized so it's not so wobbly, um, could be used for something else, some other kind of storage. We have another one like this with beads and things like that we were using for what do you call it, scissor fobs and things, um, and finishing and whatever. Um, and those are in a unit like that. It's also seems to be getting a little wobbly, and so we've tried tightening up the screws on that one, and it's kind of okay, but not ideal. And so that's why I'm wondering if this one can be tightened up and stabilized again, or if it's reached its shelf life. I don't know. Um, but so again, that's something that I just occurred to me the other day when I brought it in and I realized it's very wobbly, and I might be able, if I think they're all hex screws that are holding it together, and so I think I have the right screws, to the right hex tool to tighten up those screws. We'll see. Anyway, I'm just rambling and babbling now. So um, uh, yeah. So next week, I hope to make some more progress and be able to finish that sheet and get my other WIPGO numbers started. Um, yeah. So oh, the other thing I would talk about was the Jingle Ball. I still have not bought my Jingle Ball tickets because I was waiting. With all the moving and stuff, we had so many expenses and just things to do and all that I was going to put off uh, buying my Jingle Ball tickets until this month, and so I need to do that. And also, I've been debating about whether or not to take a class um, with the Jiggle Ball, and I think the one I want to take is again the Biscornu class. I think I talked about this last week that I want to take it just because I like the Biscornu pattern. I know how to do Biscornu, um, and I don't think that I would have time to finish the design, stitching it like in a month, less than a month now because it's the Jingle Ball is the 5th through the 7th, and today's already the 8th. um, with all the other things I want to do for WIPGO, the other patterns I want to start at least. So actually, there are 3 new starts, right? The Arkansas Statehood Series is my number 3 new start, and 22 is the whale is the whip, which is technically a new start, and the new start otherwise is another Animal Crackers Chilli, the little penguin, not little. um, and again, it's a lot of white, a lot of white stitching on the penguin and on his little snowman friend, right? Um, yeah, and then the whale is a lot of stitching. Mm. So I don't know if I took the Bitcoin class, if I'd have time to work on it before the class. And you don't have to finish it in order to take the class. I thought I had a thread on me. guess it's just a wrinkle in the light. But so yeah, so I don't know that I'll what I'm going to do about that. Maybe. Um, but I also want to. I have some threads that I want to order from uh, 123 Stitch, and it was a color that they didn't have at the attic for whatever reason. That they didn't have it ordered, but it's on. But I did find it on 123 Stitch. It's a Week Sky Works color, and the other threads that I wanted to order were Cottage Garden sampling. No, I mean Cottage Garden threads that are from Australia, but Fat Quarter Shop I think has them. So I think the ones that I want, I'm going to order from them also. And so between that and the money for the Jingle Ball and the money if I take the Jingle Ball class, that's my little sort of my fun money budget, if you will. Um, so yeah, so I need to get on that right away. And I've been trying to make sure that I track down like all whatever online payment things I've got going on because last month I had two things happen at once. A, the moving to a new billing address for my cards, but also B, I had a little fraud thing on one of my cards, and so I got a new card, and so I have to like sort of make sure that I have given the right people um, for all these subscriptions that I have or payments, automatic payments and things like that. Make sure they have the new card number and the new address and the new blah blah blah. And so I'm like, I think I got everybody, but I'm not sure. um, yeah, so all this stuff is kind of slightly bewildering. All these things that are going on at the same time. Anyway, like I said, I've rambled even longer now, so I'm going to uh, stop now. And again, I'll have the Jingle Ball information in my information box below this. And yeah, so I think that's all I have to talk about finally. Um, so I will see you all next week, and thanks for watching. And that's it. Bye.